Welcome back to English Podcast course. Today, we'll practice fun English conversations for.
I still remember my first day at this job, walking in, clutching my coffee like it was some kind of shield. It's wild how something so ordinary suddenly feels like a high-stakes moment.
Oh, totally. My first day, I must have rehearsed what to say to the receptionist about 5 times in the elevator. Somehow, the words still came out in the wrong order. Why is it that even saying your own name feels weird on day 1?
And there's always that split second of panic when you realize you don't actually know where the bathroom is. Or worse, you pick a random hallway and pray you don't end up in a broom closet.
That actually happened to me. I wandered around looking for the kitchen and accidentally crashed a super serious board meeting. I tried to play it cool, but I was holding a banana and it just did not work.
After the initial shock, I feel like the next level is figuring out all those unwritten office codes. Like, can you snag someone's mug? Is it okay to microwave fish?
Microwaving fish is definitely a gamble. I learned that the hard way, got some pretty intense side eyes. It's almost like there's an invisible handbook everyone except you has already read.
And don't even get me started on the coffee machine. I swear, every workplace has one with secret buttons no rookie should touch. I accidentally made a triple espresso for the boss. He was vibrating all morning.
That's hilarious. I spent my whole first week pretending I liked herbal tea because I couldn't figure out how to use the fancy coffee machine. I finally caved and asked a coworker, who admitted they only use it for hot water anyway.
Switching gears, one thing I find both exciting and terrifying is meeting all the new people. When you get introduced to like 15 names in a row, it's hopeless.
Seriously, the worst is when someone tests you 5 minutes later. Hey, do you remember everyone's name? I always try to play it off, but I usually just remember Steve. There's always a Steve.
Or you get lucky if someone has a really distinctive accessory like, oh, that's the one with the neon green glasses. Everything else just blurs together.
I once started making subtle notes on my phone like, red scarf Jane, tall mug Paul. It worked until I left my phone open on my desk and Jane saw it. She thought it was hilarious, thankfully.
Surprisingly, the biggest stress point for me was lunchtime. You get that awkward moment you're not sure if you should sit with the group or eat alone at your desk like you're avoiding everyone.
Lunch is such a social minefield. I hovered for ages by the kitchen, pretending to look for utensils, hoping someone would invite me over. Eventually, someone did, and it turned out they were all just as nervous about it as I was.
I can relate. I sat alone my first day, then realized everyone actually eats in the park across the street. The next day, I tagged along, and honestly, that's when I finally started feeling at home.
Lunch really is where the real bonding happens. I made my best work friends over shared complaints about soggy sandwiches and slow microwaves. That stuff brings people together.
Thinking back, it's kind of amazing how quickly those first day nerves fade. Before you know it, you're the one giving the new person directions to the kitchen, hopefully minus the banana mishap.
That's the best feeling, right? When you're suddenly the experienced one. I had a new hire shadow me last year, and I caught myself telling them not to worry about remembering names on day 1.
It's all a cycle. Every awkward first day becomes a funny story you tell the next batch of newbies. And honestly, I wouldn't trade those cringe moments for anything. They're half the fun.
Couldn't agree more. The awkwardness is what makes it memorable. Plus, if you can survive the first day, every day after that just feels like a bonus round.
Let's kick things off with the classic, how's your day going? It's funny how such a basic question can sometimes totally catch you off guard.
You know, it's honestly surprising how much those 4 words can open up. I was just in line for coffee, and the barista asked me that, and suddenly I found myself unloading a mini novella about my morning.
I totally get that. Sometimes the question feels almost like a reflex, but then other times someone asks and you're like, oh, actually, let me process my life for a second.
Exactly. And depending on who's asking, you either hit them with the classic fine thanks, or you accidentally overshare and bond over your mutual hatred of Mondays.
That makes me think there are those rare moments when someone asks, how's your day going? And you can tell they genuinely mean it. It sort of stops you in your tracks.
Yeah, like when a friend checks in out of the blue, and suddenly you realize, wow, someone actually wants to know. I had a friend text just that last week, and it totally made my day better.
It's wild how you can sense the difference, isn't it? The tone, the timing, it all adds up. Sometimes it's just the cue you need to open up, even if it's just a little.
And it goes both ways. When you reach out to someone, even with that simple question, it can really mean something. I've had people tell me later that just being asked totally shifted their mood.
So, why do we usually just default to, "I'm good, how are you"? Is it just habit, or are we all trying to avoid a therapy session in the snack aisle?
I totally think it's a defense mechanism. Like, nobody wants to be the person who turns "how's your day" into a TED Talk about existential dread, especially with the mail carrier.
Huh. But sometimes I wonder what would happen if we actually answered honestly. Would the world implode, or would we just end up having way more interesting conversations?
Honestly, a little chaos might keep things interesting. You never know, maybe we'd all be less stressed if we didn't wear the "fine, thanks" mask so often.
Speaking of being honest, have you ever had one of those days where a random "how's your day going" just completely turns your mood around?
Absolutely, and sometimes it's the most unexpected people, like the delivery guy or someone at the gym. A tiny check-in can feel like a lifeline if you're having a rough morning.
It seriously makes all the difference. You might be having a terrible day, but someone's genuine interest reminds you you're not just a face in the crowd.
That makes me want to pay it forward more, honestly. Maybe we all underestimate just how much those quick moments of connection can ripple out.
So, if we want to make "how's your day going" more meaningful, what's the move? Is it all in the delivery, or should we get creative?
Sometimes just slowing down or adding a detail like, "How's your day going so far?" or "Anything wild happened today?" can open things up. Makes it feel less like background noise.
Or even sharing your own day first, like a trade. "My day's been a circus. What about you?" It invites honesty and keeps things real.
Exactly. And you never know, you might get an epic story in return. At the very least, you get a moment of real connection, and that's worth way more than another autopilot exchange.
I woke up today to that rare kind of morning where everything feels just right. Sun peeking through the blinds, birds chirping, zero hint of rain. It's the sort of weather that almost dares you to stay in bed.
Honestly, when you get a morning like that, it's like nature itself is nudging you outside. I can't count how many times I've planned a run, only to be betrayed by a sudden downpour or some relentless humidity. But days like today? You just can't waste them.
Exactly. It's like your sneakers start calling your name from the closet. I swear, I had a whole pep talk with my running shoes before even grabbing my coffee.
Oh, for sure. And somehow, everything feels lighter: your steps, your mood, even the air itself. That little bit of sun just makes the world feel more, possible?
That actually reminds me, I have this whole bizarre pre-run ritual. I line up my playlist just right, stretch for way too long, and triple-check my laces like I'm about to run a marathon instead of a casual loop.
I get that completely. There's something comforting about those little habits. For me, it's the pre-run banana. Not because it's a superfood, but because I genuinely believe it's good luck. One time I skipped it and tripped over my own feet within 5 minutes.
Oh no, running superstition is real. There's also this weird thing where if I see a dog on my route, I'm convinced it's going to be a good run. If not, I feel like I'm missing a crucial power-up.
Ha! I love that. Dogs are like little motivational mascots along the path. I actually wave at every single one, which is probably why the owners think I'm a bit odd.
Once I get going, it's wild how quickly the noise in my head just melts away. Even if I start out grumpy or distracted, a few minutes in, I'm suddenly in the zone.
Totally. That sweet spot where your breathing steadies and your mind just kind of floats, it's addictive. I've had some of my best ideas mid-run, honestly. There's something about repetitive motion that frees up your brain.
It's like running is a moving meditation. I start off brainstorming dinner plans and end up accidentally solving world peace in my head.
Right? Or you remember ancient embarrassing moments from high school that randomly pop up. But more often than not, I finish feeling lighter. In every sense.
Speaking of finishing lighter, I swear, the best part of a morning run is all the little surprises on the route. Today, I spotted someone's front yard chicken just strutting around like it owned the block.
That's hilarious! I've seen everything from kids setting up lemonade stands at 8 a.m. to a flock of geese blocking the sidewalk. There's always something completely random to keep things interesting.
It's these small moments that make the run more than just exercise. Suddenly, you're part of this secret early morning club where anything can happen.
Exactly, and it turns a simple workout into this adventure. You come home with stories, not just a sweaty shirt.
I think that's what keeps pulling me out of bed on those perfect mornings, the hope for one more unexpected moment, one more spark of inspiration, or just that unbeatable runner's high.
Couldn't agree more. Even on days when my legs are lead and my playlist is stuck on repeat, I know I'll never regret stepping outside. It's always worth it, if only for that first breath of crisp air.
And let's face it, everything just hits different after a good run. Breakfast tastes better, coffee's richer. Even your Monday meeting feels a little less dreadful.
That's the real magic of a perfect morning run. It doesn't just change your day, it changes your whole mindset. Here's to chasing more mornings like that.
Have you ever taken one bite of food and just recoiled because it tastes like the ocean? That happened to me last night. My pasta sauce, I swear, could have preserved a mummy.
Oh, I've absolutely been there. One time I accidentally doubled the salt in a chili recipe, and my friends pretended it was fine while discreetly guzzling water. It was like a hydration challenge turned dinner party.
I love how everyone tries to act polite. Like, interesting flavor profile. Really, they're just trying not to shrivel up like a raisin.
Honestly, I think there should be an award for friends who muscle through a salty disaster without calling you out. That's what I call real loyalty.
Thinking back, I always wonder, how do we manage to oversalt so badly? It's like the salt sneaks in while you're not looking.
You know what's funny? It's usually when I'm multitasking, answering texts, telling a story, and suddenly, oops, 2 pinches instead of 1. Or when the shaker decides to go rogue and dumps half its contents.
Oh, the rogue salt shaker is a menace. Mine once came apart mid-shake and just rained down like a blizzard.
Isn't it wild how you stand there debating whether to scoop out the top layer, hoping for a miracle? Sometimes I think we need a kitchen lifeline for these moments.
So, after disasters like these, do you have any go-to fixes? I've tried the potato trick, but honestly, I'm not sure it ever worked.
I've heard about the potato magic too. I'm skeptical though. Usually, I just start throwing in more tomatoes or something bland, hoping to stretch out the saltiness.
Last time I dumped in extra cooked pasta to soak it up. It sort of worked, but I ended up with enough dinner for a week.
At least you got meal prep out of it. I feel like with every fix, you either end up with a mountain of food or some weird soup that no one asked for.
After one of those salty mishaps, do you ever find yourself tasting everything with suspicion? Like your trust is just gone for a while.
Totally. I start sampling every sauce like a chemist, tiny spoonfuls, waiting for the betrayal. And every time I dine out, I wonder if the chef had a shaky hand with the salt, too.
It's like a culinary trust fall, and I'm not sure I'm ready to be caught just yet. I even started hiding the salt shaker from myself for a bit.
I relate way too much. I once switched to unsalted butter for a month, just to keep my sodium paranoia in check.
But honestly, some of my favorite kitchen stories are those salty mess-ups. They're the ones everyone remembers and teases you about forever.
It's so true. My family still jokes about the Great Salt Pie incident from Thanksgiving. Now it's an inside joke, one that gets brought up every single holiday.
There's something comforting about knowing we all goof up sometimes. And hey, with enough laughter, even the saltiest dish can taste a little bit sweeter.
Couldn't agree more. If nothing else, we get a hilarious story and maybe a new appreciation for measuring spoons.
All right, I have to bring this up because it's been stuck in my head all week last Friday. You did something that had us all floored. Honestly, I still can't believe you actually went through with it.
Oh, you mean the karaoke stunt, right? I get it. Nobody expected I'd actually grab the mic and belt out Bohemian Rhapsody in front of everyone. My nerves were like, don't you dare, but my brain had other plans.
Seriously, you had us convinced you'd never step on that stage. Was it just the energy of the room, or had you secretly been plotting that all along?
That's the wild part. It was this sudden surge of why not? I was watching everyone else have a blast up there and figured, worst case, I embarrass myself. Best case, I surprise everyone. Plus, the crowd's laughter was weirdly encouraging.
I have to admit, I was one of the doubters. When you started singing, I thought, there's no way this is happening. But you totally owned it. Did you notice the stunned faces in the front row?
Oh, absolutely, especially when I tried to hit those high notes. But my favorite was seeing Greg nearly spit out his drink. That's when I realized the shock was real. Part of me wondered if you all would think I was faking it somehow.
Yeah, it felt like a prank at first. That actually reminds me. Your confidence looked so natural up there. Did you ever do anything like that in secret before?
You're on to me. I admit, I've had more than a few solo concerts in my car. My steering wheel's my usual audience. But performing for people? That was a first. It was much scarier than singing with the windows rolled up, that's for sure.
I totally get that my shower's the only venue that knows my real voice. But hey, maybe it's the unexpected moments that stick with us most. Have you caught the karaoke bug now? Or was this a one-off adventure?
It's tempting. There's something about pushing past what you think you can't do. I'm not promising a full album, but maybe next time I'll try something even more ridiculous. Got any song requests?
Wow, so now you're taking requests? We might have created a monster. But honestly, watching you take that leap made the night unforgettable. It kind of inspired the rest of us to loosen up too.
That's the cool part. When someone does something out of character, it's like a signal that it's okay to be a little wild. I guess sometimes you just need one person to break the ice, and everyone else follows suit.
Exactly. Who knew that one bold karaoke performance could spark an entire chain reaction of fun? Next time, I'm getting up there with you, no backing out.
Deal. And just so you know, now I don't believe you'll do it. So you better prove me wrong.
So, before we dive into today's actual topic, can we talk about that awkward pause every time someone says, "Tell me when you're ready"? It's like a universal podcast ritual.
That moment always cracks me up. I mean, my brain suddenly goes, wait, am I ready? What if I'm not? Should I stretch first? Get a glass of water? It's pure pressure in 3 words.
Right? It's almost like the countdown before a roller coaster. You know something's coming, but you're just sitting there pretending to check your notes.
And meanwhile, your co-host's just sitting there, probably as nervous as you are, but trying to look all chill. Honestly, it's the least chill moment. But once you get past it, the real fun starts.
Speaking of fun, those awkward moments actually make for the best stories. Like, do you remember your first podcast taping? I was convinced my mic was off the whole time.
Oh, I've absolutely been there. My first episode, I kept whispering to myself, is this thing on? Not realizing I was recording every bit of my internal monologue. Listeners probably thought I was losing it.
It's hilarious now, but at the time, it's like every second of silence feels like an hour, and every fumble sounds like a disaster. But then you realize, nobody actually minds. In fact, it makes you more relatable.
Totally. Sometimes the stumbles are what people remember most. Like, those are the moments when they realize, oh, these hosts are human after all.
Funny, you mentioned being human sometimes. That whole "tell me when you're ready" thing becomes just a stalling tactic. I've used it as an excuse to check my phone, top up my coffee, basically anything except starting.
I'm guilty of that too. There's something comforting about dragging out the prep. Almost like I'm convincing myself it'll help. But honestly, the longer I wait, the more my nerves spiral.
Right. It's like the anticipation is way worse than the actual recording. Once we hit record, half the jitters disappear. It's just getting to that point. That's the hurdle.
Exactly, momentum is everything. Sometimes I wish there was a podcast fairy who'd just press the button for me and say, "You're live, go."
After that initial leap, though, things usually just start clicking. I find that a few minutes in, the conversation takes on a life of its own, and you forget you were ever nervous.
That's so true. It's almost like muscle memory kicks in. But for talking, I've actually had episodes where I barely remember the first 10 minutes. I'm just on autopilot, and suddenly, we're deep in discussion.
And I think that's when you know you're in the zone. Listeners pick up on it, too, the difference between stiff intros and when you're genuinely laughing or getting passionate about something.
Listeners can totally sense that energy. I've had people message me saying they love the goofy tangents or the times we get sidetracked. Sometimes those unscripted moments are podcast gold.
So now, tell me when you're ready has kind of become our inside joke. It's not just a starting line. It's like a secret handshake for podcasters everywhere.
Absolutely, and it's funny how listeners start to latch onto those little rituals. I've even had someone email me just to say they always wait for that moment and it makes them smile every time.
It's wild how something so small can build that sense of connection. Who knew that a 3-second pause could turn into this whole shared experience?
That's the magic of podcasting, honestly. The most ordinary things, awkward pauses, quick banter end up making the biggest memories. And hey, it all starts with, "Tell me when you're ready."
Thanks you and see you next time.